And welcome to another Outside the Box review. Today we are looking at the Slasher 3 3/4 inch vinyl figures from the Funko POP Vinyl series. Normally here on Outside the Box reviews, I try to do individual reviews on each thing that I have. If it's a 2-pack, I'll review them together. These are 3 individually sold figures, but they're pretty simple, so I figured I'd throw them all into one review, and we just take care of a chunk of them at the time. Funko is a maker of vinyl bobbleheads from what I've seen of most of their stuff. They have kind of the standard traditional ones. They do a lot of movie comic tie-ins, all that stuff. I think they did a Freddy Krueger, they did a Terminator. I know they did a lot for Thor. And they've been moving into this pop vinyl version, which looks a lot like these. And in that, they've covered the same thing of like Star Wars and Marvel and DC. And honestly, if you go to a bookstore, you could probably find them for Thor, Captain America, and Green Lantern, the big summer movies. These horror ones are the same thing, but they don't have bobbleheads. I don't know why they thought that horror figures shouldn't have bobbleheads. I'm not really complaining, I'm not a bobblehead fan. But it's just kind of a weird diversity within the line. But these guys are pretty darn cool, especially for being cutesy versions of mass murderers. They run you about $10 a pop, $7 online, so it is definitely cheaper to get them online, especially if you can get free shipping or something. You can find them at a lot of comic book stores, and as I said, the superhero versions are turning up at bookstores. I don't think we're going to see these guys there anytime soon. Out of their kind of horror line of these figures, these are the first 3, figure 1, 2, and 3. There also is a Gremlin from the movie Gremlins, and Beetlejuice. Those ones don't really appeal to me. Granted, Gremlins was one of my all-time favorite movies when I was a kid, and I do like watching Beetlejuice quite a bit as well, but they didn't have the same kind of cutesy menace that these 3 had. And honestly, the Gremlin, it took me a while to realize that it was supposed to be from the movie. I just thought it was a generic Gremlin. So we'll move Mikey and Freddy off to the side, and we'll take a look at Jason. This was the first one of the 3 I picked up. Actually, I picked them up in number order. Not intentionally, that's just the order that I wanted them in. But Jason is really cool. He kind of matches the Freddy vs. Jason style. I don't know if that's really intended or if it was just the look they kind of randomly picked for Jason. But he has only 1 point of articulation, and all of them have the same point of articulation, so I'll get it out early. He has a swivel neck. That's the only articulation any of them have. Nothing anywhere else. But they look really cool. There's a lot of nice detail in the mask. It actually has almost all of the right holes, the markings. I love the gigantic black eyes. This one being partly shut is a nice touch. A very, very tiny nose. So there's the buttons and the straps. Little bits of hair and lumpy gunk on the back of his head. The buckle here, which, if I remember correctly, is more accurate to part 8. I don't think he had one like that in Freddy vs. Jason. So it could just be a generic Jason, for all intents and purposes. You can see there's more tattered shredding on the back of the shirt. There's black gloves. See, the front of the shirt has some nice detail. The pants have some nice detail. Black boots. And his bloody machete, which actually has a nice metallic sheen to it. My only real complaint about it is it looks like they glue the hands on afterwards with these figures. And there's a bit of glue kind of sticking out, and I can't really get it off the figure right there. And I'm afraid to peel it too much. I don't want the hand to fall off. But that's pretty much the worst of it. He's really simple, and maybe not the best value for the price, but I really like him. Plus, I love almost anything Jason, so definitely gotta like this guy. Next, we'll bring in Freddy, and It's a lot of the same comments I'd said about Jason. The detailing is really nice. It's got the pizza face going on. All of this is actually sculpted detail along with paint. So it actually has little chunks in his face. The little nose, big black dead eyes. I haven't looked. He has eyebrows that are unpainted. I don't know if they're supposed to be painted. I don't think they should be painted, but they kind of do look awkward being there. The hat's pretty nice. It's not removable or anything. Definitely a little oversized. Has the burn mark here in the front and the spattering of, burn there. Back of the head's equally nice. Unlike Jason, they actually put some detail on Freddy's ears as well, which is kind of cool. I kind of wish they had to put a little more texture on Jason's ears. The sweater is nicely done. The hand is sculpted just like the face. The glove is really cool. They actually did get metallic paints for the gold and the silver claws, and claws are actually kind of sharp. They don't feel too brittly. I mean, they do feel brittle, but I don't feel like it's going to break if I put it down the wrong way. Nice tattering at the bottom of the shirt. Brown pants and his brown boots. Still a little bit of tattering on the back as well. Both the Freddy and the Jason I really, really liked, and that led me to go pick up the Michael Myers, who I am not nearly as impressed with. I'm sorry to say it. And I know part of it is I do not have the love for Michael Myers that I do for Freddy or Jason. He was always my, number 3 slasher if you're looking at the big ones, and I think I honestly kind of like Victor Crowley and Leslie Vernon more than Michael Myers a lot of times. But it's still nice. It looks a little goofy because it is designed to look more like a mask that he's wearing. So it kind of accentuates the big head more so than the other ones. The other ones, it just looks cute. This looks like he's wearing a bad mask. And the areas around the eyes kind of weird me out, as they're this grayish color, where I would guess you would probably want to make it flesh tone, but it's not. The hair is also a little lighter than I'd like it to be. And I think the fact that he has a mouth actually detracts from the cutesy value of the whole thing. But it is pretty nice. He even does have the slit at the back of the mask, which is a nice detail. The coveralls are blue. Yet another thing that kind of disappoints me. I would have kind of liked to see them be a green, but they're kind of a grayish blue. He has his boots. His knife is a little exaggerated with a curve on the top here. And it's just a little overdone. I mean, it's nice, but it's not. It's not great. And that's my overall thing with the Michael Myers, is he's not great. But my fear is, or my fear was, that if I didn't pick him up, I'd end up wanting him and he'd be hard to find. Because I have this weird feeling these things are going to be hard to come by in a couple months. And they're probably going to command a lot of money on the secondary market. Which is why I went and picked up these ones now. I really like these 3. The Michael Myers less so than the other ones, but they are cool. There's something pretty different when it comes to horror collectibles. Most of the stuff, especially in my collection, is very, very realistic looking. And these are very stylized to an extreme degree, and they're also not intended to look too scary, which is kind of just a neat difference in stuff. So I do like them for that feature. And I think they're going to look really nice somewhere on display in my new horror lair once I get it all set up. As for the other 2 in this series so far, the Gremlin and the Beetlejuice, the more I think about it, the more I wonder if I'm going to regret not picking them up if they end up going for a lot of money, like I think they're probably going to. And if that's the case, maybe I'll pick up the Gremlin in the future, but I really have no immediate plans to do so. What I'd really, really like to see out of this line, and part of the reason I want to buy these figures to support further installments in this line, I would love to see a Leatherface in this style. I think it would work so well. I think it would look so cool. I think even a ghost face could be kind of fun in this style, even though I don't know if I'd pick that one up either, honestly. But I think this style has potential for cool little horror figures. And I would recommend picking them up, especially if you're as big a fan of these guys as I am. This has been another Outside the Box review. Stay tuned for more in the future.